podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is the wonderful Ben Slinger.
Oh, wonderful today. Hello.
Yes, hello.
What are we doing today, Trevor?
We're going to play some ramped up click pitch because we haven't done that for a little bit. And, you know, I've got the Discord bot back up and running, so let's put it through its paces today.
You've been doing your wizardry, so we can get our words directly into our little Discord chat here, and makes it nice and easy.
Which is much easier than the way that we were doing it before, which is having to manually go and click.
I mean, who's got the time to bring up a website and click?
I mean, what I'm going to be doing next is, you know, having it so I don't even have to push a button. I just have to think about it and the words will come to me.
I mean, they have those, like, you know, electrode bands or whatever. You could probably make that happen.
I could. I'm not going to, but I could. That's the thing. I can't be bothered.
Anyway, Ramped Up Click Pitch is a game where we each have a random phrase generator in front of us, and on the count of 3 to 1 click, we're each going to get an adjective and a noun, throw them up in the air, do a bit of a twist, you know, double back flip twist with a twist of lemon. Yeah. And then we're going to turn that into a video game idea of some sort.
Yeah, including barrel rolls and all those things.
Yeah, well, every good game needs a barrel roll.
Yeah. So I suppose for the first time in a little while, 3, 2, 1 click.
Yeah. Chemist's wrist.
Pseudo diagonal.
Oh, pseudo diagonal. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What would a chemist have on their wrist? I like the idea of a chemist as a character, though. That's kind of neat. Doing some chemistry of some sort. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the sort of classic, cliched test tubes and beakers and things like that, or I don't know, maybe they're doing biochemistry of some sort, mixing organisms, DNA. Yeah,
and you know, you got some pseudo randomness in there because you know that's one of the typical things that you can sort of put in place, especially using the word pseudo. When I saw diagonal, I'm like, well, Diagon Alley. And then I thought, oh, what if it was the origins of magic?
Okay. So this is how magic came about.
It's a jumping off point.
Science.
It's not part of Turfy McTurfington's, you know, magic world. That's how I got there.
That's how you got there. That's fine. Yeah, it's not the wizarding world of whatever. We're just doing magic stuff. Yeah. So, well, I like that idea of inventing magic somehow through science, basically.
Yes.
Is there some sort of like alchemy? Were they trying to do some sort of alchemical, transforming elements between each other, or are we not even going back to that route?
I don't even think we go back to something pseudo-y. I think it's just like, oh, I've got a hypothesis that if I put these few chemicals together and do this, and something comes out fizzing, and they have it, and it's like all of a sudden they've got these, you know.
So we just go for a MacGuffin of, you drink this, you get powers. Maybe.
It's not necessarily you drink this, you got powers. It's more, you know, this is a regiment of, you know, you don't permanently have the powers. It's sort of like a,
the effect of it while it's in your body is that it does something to your cells.
Manifests in some sort of.
It creates neural links between all the cells in your body so that your brain kind of has a connection to the surface area of your brain is now your skin. I'm just techno-babbling here.
Yeah.
But that somehow lets you affect, the world around you in immediate ways through thinking.
Yeah. And what I think is kind of funny is you have to actually, you know, sort of train it and hone it. You can't just, you know, reach out and something comes towards you. It's sort of like you've got to do it in a certain way, and everyone reacts slightly differently. Well, so it's sort of like a self journey.
I kind of want to take this almost in a body horror-ish way where maybe using this is traumatic instead. You were saying the thing that comes out is fizzing. Maybe your body starts to fizz. You're, something's happening. Your cells
at an atomic level.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah. And so while yes, you've got these powers and you can hone them, like it's dangerous and it's traumatic to your body. And if you don't learn how to do it right or like heal up afterwards or whatever, then, you know, you just disintegrate almost. You just melt.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where they kind of techno-babbled away with Ant-Man and all that sort of stuff. If he shrunk down, it's just condensing, you know, the space in between the atom and all this sort of stuff, which is freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I like the idea then that in this world, and maybe we do go from the origin of it, and then this is later on, but you can tell people who have tried to use or have been using magic, potentially you can tell because parts of their body are just like off. Yeah. Because if they've gone too hard, too far one time, like one of their ears has started sliding down the side of their head before they stopped using it, and then it like recombined, like, and that's just where their fucking ear is now.
Also, you know, because it is a drug, you've got people who don't use it for the medical thing, but the fact that it just makes them feel good. So it's sort of like a drug of, you know,
that's interesting too, because then
of choice like for some people, because you can
not only has, you know, even worse effects on your body, but makes you more powerful for that time. And so you can do a lot of damage as well.
So I think you can really play with, you know, sort of what We Happy Few try to do and all that sort of stuff, where you're having to use the drug to be able to, you know, do
get
these
through
things.
The world.
But you also like use the drug and you get more addicted, and then you're sort of like, you know, you're learning how to use it. You're liking the power that comes with it, but maybe it doesn't work quite as long anymore. You know, after you've used it 50 times, it's sort of like, oh, it only partially worked. Okay, you got up your dose now because your body's become too accustomed to it. And
that's an interesting idea from a gameplay perspective of the more you use certain powers, the less effective they are over time, without, some sort of, mechanical, trade-off. And more than just, you know, oh, your health goes down when you use more magic, like permanent shifts, you know?
Like your arm is now just that little bit longer because you were sort of using the Mr. Fantastic.
You're hyperextended,
and you did hyperextend that one time. It was only a little bit, but it's like your body still kind of remembers it was a little bit longer. And I know, just the idea of, you know, you got that strong skin because, you know, you wanted to protect yourself against the hits, but maybe that one little spot where you've been hit so many times is now, you know, permanently, you know, scarred.
Or you've like modified your flesh there so often that like the last time you did it, you got sloppy and a piece of your like shirt combined with it when you hardened your skin there. And now it's just, you've got a flap of cloth just like with a button hanging out of your chest permanently, you know.
There's just so many cool little things that you could do.
I really like the world building side of it.
So I see this as sort of like an action RPG, where you're sort of able to choose, you know, the different sort of skills that you're wanting to go down, and the spells that you learn over time. You know, obviously you can't rely on the same one over and over. You need to keep it changing up a bit. Otherwise they lose their potency.
Yeah. And I think part of it then is maybe like part of the storyline is trying to discover other formulas that might be more stable, or that you like might be able to get more control, or just because you haven't overused that specific formula, you can go back to being fresh with it, sort of thing. And just from a gameplay perspective, having that be, you know, oh, you finally got to this point and now you're like all powerful again and can, you know, because you certainly don't want to have cool powers and then just take them away from the player completely. But I do like the idea of the trade-offs.
The idea of the potency, you know, being less, like it doesn't do quite as much damage anymore. Like it will get to a point where it's like, oh, you know, you've used this 15,000 times. Well, guess what? The damage it does now is negligible. Like,
I do like that idea of us morphing like the player character model in certain ways too, and potentially based off the specific spells or powers they like to use. So like, if they really like, a telekinesis sort of thing that you blast out with your hand, then the more you use that, the more that hand gets, bigger, deformed or bigger or melts. Like it kind of like feels like it's a bit droopy or melted or whatever.
in lack of a better word, more arthritis-y.
Well, I think even more extreme than that.
Well, I think that's what you actually get. You fucked up your hand now, and you actually get pain in the joints and those sort of things. Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess I was thinking even to the point of like your hands, just like your fingers bend and move in ways that they didn't before.
Yeah,
you get sausage fingers.
Like that one scene from
that's basically
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, hot dog fingers or whatever. Yeah,
such a good movie. Such a good movie. Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Sure. Wrecked indicator.
Hurt perfection.
Okay. So I mean, with Wrecked indicator, I immediately went to Burnout Revenge.
Oh yeah, and in fact, I was sort of thinking about the top-down series. I'm pretty sure it was called Wrecked.
Right.
Like the Micro Machines-esque thing that was on Xbox.
Yeah. Okay. So we're doing some sort of racing thing here, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Burnout Revenge had those great takedowns and stuff where you could just like, you slam someone off the course and it would cut to a different camera in slow-mo as you smash someone down.
Yep.
I wonder if we can utilize that in a new and novel way.
I mean, in some sort of, grand sprawling adventure where you can, a lot of it is car combat sort of thing. Where in fact, it's set in the Cars universe. And it's just, you're going about your day-to-day job. You're a Wall Street trader, but then I don't know. Like,
just picturing a Wall Street trader in the Cars universe, just like going up the elevator, like a car elevator in this huge building, and then there's all the parking spots where everyone sits as the big stock market screens and stuff are going, and everyone's, on there. How did Cars use computers? Have we ever seen that?
I don't.
Cars 2 was all James Bondish,
all futuristic and all that.
Remember it,
so, I don't remember enough about it, but I'm sure sometime this weekend I'm going to watch it and I'll report back.
Okay, is this the seedy underbelly of the Cars universe then? Is this like the underground street fighting, the Fight Club of Cars? Because now I'm just picturing those Burnout Revenge slow-mo scenes, but like the cars
with
have
eyes
faces
on
and they're like
eyes in the windshield,
beaten up, and like when you knock a freaking headlight off a car, then it's their eye falling out. Oh no, not quite, because the eyes are in the windshield, but
eyes are in the windshield
when you break their windshield or whatever.
When you have a person,
it's basically a cross between the Burnout Revenge ones and the Mortal Kombat ones. It's
Mortal Kombat for cars.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I can this.
I really like that. Day trader by day, and, night warrior by night.
Day trader, night warrior. And you have to. There's like mini games for the daytime stuff where you have to play the stock market to make money to like repair yourself / go to the doctor. I guess it's the same thing. In the Cars
mechanic,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I think that could actually be a fun,
for sure,
sort of thing. But just
and then I think
the takedowns are just so fucked up.
And the thing is, like the way
when that is your person,
the way the cars, definitely. The way the cars move in the Cars universe too, like mostly they move like normal cars, but then they'll have like anthropomorphic moves and stuff, like they'll jump off, use their wheels to jump,
sort of use their wheels,
like to shift, pick up a single wheel, like it's shifting to the side or whatever. So I think you can jump, like you can do some interesting different moves. If someone's behind you can basically
do
a road rash punch,
slight strafe. There's a slight strafe that you can do where you sort of jumps to the side or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're next to someone, you can essentially like trip them by putting out your back wheel just a little bit to the
side. I mean, just the fact that obviously there's going to be parked cars and all that sort of stuff on the side of the road, and it's just they're the spectators.
Yeah, that's interesting. Cars parked overnight, is that just like homeless people? That's a bit dark. Just covered in parking tickets. Do cars in the Cars universe get parking tickets?
Oh, what if that's just a dead body?
Just corpses. Oh my God. Like a burnt out car. It's like literally someone who's been set on fire. But I mean, look, this can give us some real deep look into, the implications of cars as people.
Yeah. Oh my God. I kind of, maybe we can do it. Every game from now on tonight has to be set in the Cars universe. Set in the Cars universe.
All right, we can give it a try. Yeah, the implications of
unsuspecting climbing.
Okay. Organic indent. So you're a rock climbing car.
Yeah,
so
rock climbing
basically
car.
Like a 4-wheel drive, presumably.
Yeah.
Like an off-road vehicle.
Yeah, you can fire out your tow rope up, and then you just sort of,
and then you're just like driving up the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. I've been watching a bit of 911 lately.
Okay.
Which I told you about a little bit.
Yeah.
Pretty good show, but what I would like to see is search and rescue, having to sort of abseil down and all that sort of stuff. So you're like a search and rescue truck.
Yeah.
And so you're rescuing, unsuspecting climbers and that sort of stuff
who are of course other vehicles.
Trapped and, yeah.
But they're like the people who come in and do it for an activity. They're just street cars.
Yeah. It's kind of like
they got bogged.
I have a Honda CRV that says on the back that it's all-wheel drive. Would I treat that as a four-wheel drive? Fuck no.
It's and so getting bogged is basically like the equivalent of someone falling in quicksand. I
just think that could be kind of fun. You're playing, a rescue van sort of thing, and
yeah, for sure. That could be cool.
You're going out and towing some people. You're going out and, sort of, maybe you are, Mater, and you got the tow hook in the back. And
you're a grizzled old Mater who he's now, 70 years old, 80 years old, in his old age. Lightning Queen's long dead. Because, he was a daredevil.
The opening cutscene is, Mater at the funeral, and there's just flashbacks to this burnt old husk of a car, and it's like, oh my God.
It's just sitting there crying, ka-chow, my friend, ka-chow.
Wow.
And then, he, there's a bit of a montage of him being depressed in, what's the town? Fucking Radiator Springs.
Radiator Springs.
Everyone's, he leaves Radiator Springs, leaves everyone behind, goes and finds himself, ends up sort of being a recluse on the mountain. And then one day someone, hears someone get caught and he saves them. And that's his new call.
And that's his new call.
So he upgrades himself gives himself a new fucking, I don't know. What do you need to make yourself a trend? No, to make yourself a 4-wheel drive. I mean, I guess he was already, tow truck. He's probably got pretty good torque or whatever, but
there's something about that that's just, you know, a gritty sort of start to it. And then it just turns into, you know, Mate is rescuing everyone. It's like,
now it's just all whimsical again.
He's just trying not to think about, like, he goes home alone and is like, that's when it starts getting dark again. It just, like, if you leave it there for too long, it's just, the camera just slowly
zooming in as the lights gutter out.
And, you know, the occasional jump scare of, you know, the image of Lightning McQueen being on fire again.
Oh my God. Who said he got on fire? Okay.
At the start.
Okay. He's the Burnout car we were talking about in the last game.
It's an Easter egg for the last game.
I do like that. Or you do one of those things where, like, yeah, at the end of each day, it does the slow zoom as he, you know, drinks himself into a stupor with, you know, fucking alcoholic
motor oil or whatever.
Yeah. And then it does one of those, like, hard cuts to morning. You know how a movie or whatever will do that. It'll, like, and he's just in the exact same position. Like, and it's like, oh, guess I gotta get to work. It was a bit more goofy.
And he doesn't mention all the hell that he's just gone through over the night. Like,
oh God, no.
You know that he was just, you know, wallowing in self-pity and, you know, so depressed.
Does the car commit suicide by connecting a hose from its own exhaust into its window?
It's into its mouth.
Like, into its hood or whatever, like into its mouth. To its grill.
Isn't that just like, you know,
sucking your own dick?
No, I was thinking,
like eating your own,
farting in your own mouth.
Farting in your own. I mean, if you fart in your own mouth, if you could hook up a hose of farts into your mouth and continuously fart, like, you'd probably die.
You'd probably die eventually. It's not a quick way to die.
I mean, either is actual carbon monoxide. We're going to have to put a fucking trigger warning on it.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I won't remember to. 3, 2, 1, click.
All right. This is what happens when we dive into Pixar films. Unconnected carpet.
Graduated conscience.
Okay. All right. So this is a new character in the Cars universe. It's just completely different. Graduated university to be an interior designer.
Okay.
Because actually, doing interior design for the Cars universe could be interesting. How do you design a house or a building to cater to cars?
Big fucking doors. I mean, roller doors everywhere, pretty much. Like,
well, what did they even have in the? I remember they like had the you know, the motel he was staying in was like big traffic cones, and it was sort of just a single room, like a sort of just a garage. They basically just live in garages almost. Everyone.
Yeah. Sort of like the diner was just, it felt open air, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, did they just drive up to it kind of thing? It was like a drive-up diner or something.
I mean, tell me this. How did they build it?
Lots of
how do they build any of those
things? And winches and...
No opposable thumbs, so everything's kind of fucked in this universe.
Yeah. I tried to search for images, and I'm mostly finding questions on Quora like, do vehicles in Pixar's Cars universe reproduce sexually? But we're not going to answer that one.
No. What if, and this is me just thinking, what if the car's conscience is actually a real human being? Is actually in the car, so it's somewhat attached to the car.
Okay, but only the car is sort of aware of it themselves.
Well, you don't show your human to people, so that's just rude.
So we're crossing. Here we go. We're crossing cars with Inside Out.
Exactly.
But what's inside the cars is just a person.
It's just a person.
But they're physically, so if a car like winds down its front window, it's like opening up your brain cavity.
Yeah.
But there's a human
and there's a squishy person in there.
But it's like when a Dalek opens up. It's like connected.
Oh yeah.
Flesh bound into its,
it is matrixed in.
Yeah.
Like there are cables
Tubes
everywhere and And that is the inner workings of a car.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like the function, the form of a car is designed around the function of housing a human being to take it around. So I feel like that's logical.
So you open it up and it's wet in there. Like it's not interior. Like
no,
it's interior of a body.
Yeah, it's like inside someone's skull.
It's wet and gushy in there. And they can't speak because there's a tube down their throat, but they can, like telepathically talk to the car because effectively it's just their brain.
Yeah. I mean, I think that philosophically separating the car from the human would be difficult. It's like saying, your inner monologue is a different person to you. But yes, essentially that's a car's brain.
And it's also their sexual organ.
Wait, how does that work? So to reproduce, cars open up their windows and the people inside them have to fuck?
Yep.
It's like how, is it like a hyena or whatever? Like what the things that have like retractable sex organs? It's like that. So like they just roll up next to each other like they're doing a drug deal, roll down the window, and just like
high five.
The bottom. No, it's grosser than that. Like the bottom half of their humans just like flop out the side. The top half's still like hooked in and connected. Yeah. But this sort of misshaped bottom half of a human.
With no bones. Like
no
it's
bones.
Just floppy.
But I mean, but the blood flow works because like there has to be penetration.
Yeah. It's like a spider, which a spider is not bony, like it's fluid activated.
So wait. That means an infant car is essentially a baby human that's growing an exoskeleton of car around it.
Yes.
Right.
We've just solved the Cars universe.
We've solved it. Eureka. Eureka.
Eureka. Ah. I don't know why that came into my brain that is how it is, but whenever you think of Pixar's Cars, that's how you're going to imagine them reproducing.
Yeah. So that's all backstory for this interior design game.
Yes. So
you don't see
now
this on
you're talking
screen.
about interior design. Now, when this interior designer is alone, unlike most, her conscience person inside, they're what's it called down their mouth? It's disconnected from that anymore, so they can actually talk now.
Well, is it that, or is it just that the way cars visualize their sort of inner self and their conscience is just as the person inside them talking, and so you kind of get views of just like an actual regular car interior and their person.
Now I'm picturing in a dream, it's like they're inside a car as like a smaller version of their car talking with the human person inside them.
Yeah, they're sitting in the passenger seat of themselves.
And it's like, oh, that was so fucking meta. But it makes them think a little bit more about, okay, what sort of artwork can we put in this place? And it's then House Flipper, but the cars.
Yeah, definitely. But you're having to like, we need to take down that wall. You just drive into it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things about living as a car is that you're quite heavy and generally move with quite a lot of momentum.
Yes.
To get around at your sort of regular speed. So I feel like, if you run into someone on the street, generally you're both okay. If two cars run into each other on the street, like that could be severely damaging.
Because they were going fast.
Yeah.
They were going fast.
Even just cars were moving at their sort of regular rate. They're still going, 60 k's an hour, like two cars hitting each other, even clipping each other at that speed. You're going to lose.
It's catastrophic.
Something. You might lose a side mirror, which is like an ear.
You may lose an eye. Like.
You might at least get a scratch in your eye or like a dent, yeah. Or if you're unlucky, completely shatter your windscreen, which leaves you blind.
Yeah. And in this universe, like I don't think there's any, windscreens O'Brien. I think it's just like, no, that's it. Like,
No, that definitely is. And it's just like that's a call out.
Glasses.
He's an optometrist. He's an eye surgeon, and his name's O'Brien.
The windshield is literally just glasses. So as long as something didn't pierce into the fleshy part behind the glass.
Well, I think it is your eyes, but it's just more easily replaceable than a human's eyes. Like it's, it's like getting a skin graft or something would be, or, it's still major surgery of some sort, and yes, you will be blind until you get it done, but it's a fairly routine surgery now to get new eyes, basically.
Mm-hmm. One more. Let's see.
Let's do one more. One more quick one. Let's see what else we can gem the Cars universe into. Stirring sunlight.
Favorable foreigner.
Oh, okay. So how? Well, I think we have seen some air travel, right? Although was it only in the James Bond?
That was planes.
Well, there was planes, but I feel like in Cars 2 they traveled by plane, maybe.
So I'm actually thinking, what would actually happen if a human being turned up in the Cars universe?
Oh, okay.
And they go, "Oh my God, where's your exoskeleton or whatever?" Because we now know
would that be just like if we saw a brain wearing clothes,
yeah,
walking around and talking.
So they walk into a diner and everyone starts screaming.
Yeah,
because it's just
body horror to them.
It's body horror. It's disembodied brain.
Yeah,
and
the guy's just like,
I'm picturing cars covering their children's eyes. You don't want to see that
with their with their tire. I know it's basically like having to
or a car door. Like you just open the car door and then other people can see inside. It's like, oh my God.
I think there's like there must be like a protective something, like a skin or something. Because I feel like, again, in the Cars movies, they opened their car doors and stuff. And it's like, I think there's almost an interior.
They just never showed. Like, if they sneaked that camera around, you would have seen.
You would have seen the horrific. Yeah, that maybe. Yeah.
And if it was directed by David Cronenberg, then yes, we would have got that.
That's definitely what I'm picturing, is that level of horror.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So favorable foreigner, they come to this place. I'm thinking kind of like Arnie from Magic Tavern, sort of.
Oh, Schwarzenegger. I'm like, okay, because I was thinking like, oh, is this sort of a fish out of water foreigner comes to a, land. But no, you're saying the
Last Action Hero style.
Yeah, maybe. Essentially the human has fallen into. Have they fallen from the world where Pixar's Cars exists in their world? So they're from our world, basically.
And they've come in as a cartoon and they're like, oh shit, this is actually kind of fucked up.
They're like the classic Pixar look.
Yeah.
Just
like
generic
they look exactly like Andy from Toy Story 2.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. And then they just have a podcast and
hijinks. That's okay.
Chunt the Badger car and Usador the Wizard car. That brings back the magic from the very start. He's just a drug user that turned himself into a car.
There's got to be better puns than that, though. What sort of cars are like Badger like? Anyway, I don't know cars. Enough. All right. I think we're going to finish it there on our lack of good puns. If you'd like to listen to our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. All of them are up there. We're getting very close to 400 episodes. Well, we've actually got more than 400 episodes, but episode 400 we're getting close to. So
yeah, I mean, really. What do we call them? The podcast lawyers or
the accountants? The podcast accountants.
The podcast accountants. Yeah, they kind of screwed us.
They really messed us up a bit there with our numbering system. But that's
luckily we got rid of them.
Yeah,
they're not here anymore. And
we sent them to the Cars universe. We don't know what happened.
Hit episode 400 before PAX.
Yeah, we will.
Instead of being told that we have to wait for PAX for some reason.
Yeah, if we record at PAX, it will be 404 or something. 403, 404. Whatever. Go listen to all the other ones. There's more than 400 of them.
Yeah. If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. Yeah, go check it out. It's really kind of cool. We were having a bit of a listen session
last week, yeah.
Last week. That was good fun.
It was indeed. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And Trevor, what sort of car in the Cars universe would you be?
Probably a Honda CR-V. Not quite an all-wheel drive, but, comfortable.
Cool.
What about you?
Punch buggy, no returns.